Hey Wildcats, I'm Jesus.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is Wildcat TV. Now it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And the moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
If you missed last week's pep rally,
Here's the recap. Here, somewhere.
insert video position. Right
Like,
there.
do it now. Like, click. Interested in computers or video making? Want to compete in competitions? Join Skills USA Media Tech. Meetings are every Wednesday after school in room B301.
Senior Parent Night has been moved to October 2nd at 6 p.m. in the auditorium.
The same night as open house at Angleton High School.
Wildcats, picture retakes are set for next Tuesday, October 3rd in the lecture hall. If you did not have a picture taken at scheduled pickup, you must have your photo taken on October 3rd for a new ID. Forms are available in the front office and will also be available in the lecture hall the day of the photos. Bring your best smile and make sure you are in dress code.
Parking permits are now available. Pick up the application in the AP office with Ms. Chavez. Applications are due today.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Good job, sir. That's the officer of the law, you know what I'm saying?
Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
All right, so we got a 3768 over on the south side corner of the East Hamptons. A reported suspect is caught being Trey. Yeah, so we have to go check it out.
Alrighty.
I'll turn on the lights. Swoop. Wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo.
It appears so that the suspect has a very vicious dog.
Well, it's a good thing cops carry guns.
Now what?
Open up!
Exit the building.
Put your hands down, you fence! Respect the law! Respect the pouch! Never! I'm an officer of the law! You're being detained! You can be in this ugly! Be detained! I have nothing to handcuff him with! Dang it! We're awful cops! Yes!
Now it's time for Kroll.
Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Mrs. LaRoe, and I'm here in the library this morning. Actually, I'm sitting in the middle of the book fair to remind you that we have book fair for one more week. And since we're in the library, I don't have any words of wisdom for you today. I wanted to share a book that is in the book fair, and it's one that I've started reading and found to be really good. This is The Reins by Greg Hurwitz, and it's a dystopian novel. Dystopian basically means that this is what happens when the world flips on end and begins to end. So let me read this part to you. It began with a hard, slanting rain, and soon there was fire too. But it wasn't fire, not really. It was the pieces of asteroid 9918 Darwinia breaking up above Earth, flaming as they entered the atmosphere. It exploded 24 kilometers up, a bright flash that turned night into day. There was a boom above Creek's Cause and a wave of heat that evaporated the drops right out of the air. Jack Kainer's garret window blew out, and the rickety shed behind Grandpa Donovan's house fell over. The surge of warmth dried the pastures and the irrigated soil. Fist-sized fragments kicked up the powdered dirt in that field lying fallow behind Hank McCafferty's place, embedding themselves deep below the earth. A late winter had pushed back harvests, and so the fields were still full. McCafferty had been working sweet corn and barley through the fall, but this one empty plot, depleted by a recent planting, had been layered with manure to set up double crop of alfalfa and oats for the next summer. The soil was rich, primed for roots to take hold. Or something else. It started raining. The rains continued through the night, pounding the earth, turning our roofs into waterfalls. At the edge of town, Hogan's Creek overflowed its banks, drowning the Widow Luttrell's snow peas until minnows swam shimmering figure eights through the vines. Since McCafferty's farm was on higher ground, his crops weren't deluged. Narrow, bright green shoots poked up from the moist soil of his fallow field, thickening into stalks by the third day. At the top of each was a small bud encased in a leafy sheath. McCafferty lifted his trucker's cap to scratch his head at them, vowing to borrow Charles Franklin's undercutter to tear those strange-looking weeds from his land. But Franklin was not a generous man, and besides, there was corn to harvest, and so it waited another day, and then another. The rains finally stopped, but the stalks kept growing. The townsfolk went to check out the crazy growths rising from the soil where the meteorites had blazed deep into the ground. Patrick and I even stopped by one day after school to join the gawkers. By the end of the work week, the stalks were taller than Hank himself. On the seventh day, they towered over 10 feet. And then they died. This book is turning out to be a really interesting one, and it's really fascinating because something's happening. We don't know what came out of the meteorite, but it's going to affect the whole world. Guys, come check this one out, or any book here in the library. And this weekend, while you're out having fun and making great choices, I'm not going to use Kroll's line, but make good ones. Come back to see us on Monday. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.
That's all for this week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Deuces.